Well, what are Republicans going to do if the blue wave fails to materialize and they win? What will Democrats do if they do as well as they hope and get both houses of Congress? What's going to happen if they don't? What's going to happen, period? Dana Perino is the person we go to for questions like this. She, of course, hosts the Daily Briefing with Dana Perino, is the most beloved person in the building, as you well know. So Dana, first, what would happen in the pollsters are saying unlikely, but still possible?
There's always a chance.
There is, always. Nothing should surprise us. But the scenario where Democrats don't retake the House, what happens there?
Well, I think that they're going to have a lot of soul searching to do, right? They'll say, why? How could it be? We ran on health care. Everybody said health care was the reason. You're going to have a mad scramble of probably, and I'm not kidding, Tucker, 35, maybe 40 Democrats who think that they can run for president. They're all going to be pointing their fingers at each other. We're looking at about $5 billion spent in this midterm race. The Democrats start in a deficit in the Senate. John James is an interesting candidate. I would watch that race in Michigan tomorrow night. He's only 2 points behind. He has really closed hard in that race. One thing that happens, though, is that in those Rust Belt states, lots of the Republican governors are up. Like Scott Walker, he's in a very tight re-election effort there. So a lot of stuff happening in the Rust Belt. The Democrats, however, they are favored to win back the House by some, but there is still a chance. Let's just say this. If Democrats do take back the majority in the House, and they only take it back by 10, what happens then to the Speaker's race, right? Well, Nancy Pelosi is unlikely to be Speaker in that scenario. There's already about 24, maybe 30 Democrats who have publicly said they would not vote for her. So there's going to be scrambling all across the map. If the Republicans are able to hold on, legislating is going to be very difficult. They have to figure out, what are we for? Are we just, they've talked about tax cuts 2.0. Like, is that going to cut it? Can they really go into 2020 not addressing health care? And can they figure out a way to work with the Democrats, as they'll have to do, to work with President Trump to do something on immigration? That will be the big test of 2020. Interesting. Who do you think, if Pelosi's not the Speaker? Because I agree with you, there's some latent hostility. She's scared. People are afraid of her, but they also resent her. Look, so and she's very good at politics, and she's willing to let people take swings, and she'll take all the slings and arrows, because she, as she said the other day, this is politics, not a tea party. So she's got a thick skin. Right. And whatever you think of her, she's tough. She's legitimately tough. But if she doesn't have a nice cushion of 45 seats or something like that, it's unlikely it'll be hard for her to hold on. So then I think maybe you go to a caretaker position of perhaps a James Clyburn that holds on to it for a while until they can figure out generationally and directionally which way they want to go. There will be some very interesting new Democrats that do win, right? You'll have some veterans from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. That will be interesting. You'll have some younger people. That'd be very interesting. You will have some that are very into identity politics. And you will have some from Midwestern states that say, no, look, we've got to do a better job of talking to blue-collar voters on the economy and on immigration and all of those things. So the struggle is going to be really tough for the Democrats. What President Trump has been able to do is unite the Republicans behind him in a way that, 18 months ago you might not have foreseen. That's exactly. Thank you for saying that. I don't think anyone would have guessed that he would have made it his party as fast as he did. Right. Well, there's something, the Democrats helped, right? Look at what they did to Brett Kavanaugh. That certainly was a unifying effect for Republicans across the board. Yeah, by being unreasonable. Dana Perino of the Daily Briefing, The Five, and, of course, a key part of tomorrow night's election coverage. Probably. Thank you. I'll see you then. So we definitely will. Thank you, Dana. Okay. Bye-bye.